There is no warning siren. There is no starting line. Just a single glance and the grassland becomes a battlefield. In the African savanna, where mistakes are not forgiven, speed is not for display, it is for survival. In just 3 seconds, a cheetah can accelerate from a standstill to over 60 miles per hour. But that speed is not a miracle. It is the price of evolution and a burden carried every day. In just a few hundred meters, the cheetah must make every decision: when to sprint, where to strike, and how to bring down the prey before exhaustion sets in. One misstep means more than a missed meal, it means lost energy, lost hydration, and sometimes lost life. This is the journey of the fastest land predator on Earth, where every chase pushes the limits of nature. For the cheetah, speed alone is not enough to survive, but speed is the only reason it still exists. The cheetah, the master of speed across the African plains. Across vast open savannas, where survival is shaped by constant hardship, cheetahs face daily threats to their existence. Although they are the fastest land mammals, cheetahs do not always hold the advantage in the struggle to survive. The cheetah's most prominent weapon is speed. With a body built for motion, it can reach speeds up to 75 miles per hour. This ability is the result of millions of years of evolution. Its flexible spine works like a spring, allowing the body to coil and extend with each stride. Its long limbs act as levers, enabling strides between 20 and 26 feet. Every second, a cheetah can take 4 full strides, closing the distance to its prey with extreme efficiency. Unlike other big cats, cheetahs have non-retractable claws. This feature provides extra grip while running, similar to cleats worn by track athletes. Their tail measures around 30 inches and plays a critical role in balance and steering during sharp turns. However, this speed comes with strict limitations. Cheetahs can only maintain top speed for 20 to 30 seconds. Beyond that, their body temperature rises rapidly, forcing them to stop and cool down. If a hunt fails, they lose more than prey. They lose valuable energy reserves, which can directly affect their ability to hunt again or care for their young. Another disadvantage is the cheetah's slender build. It is not suited for physical confrontations. When facing lions, hyenas, or other large carnivores, cheetahs are forced to retreat to stay alive. Even after a successful kill, if they cannot eat quickly or must face competition, they can easily lose their catch. This makes raising cubs especially risky, particularly when the young are small and dependent. Cheetahs also face challenges in defending territory. Unlike many other predators, they lack a powerful roar and rarely engage in direct confrontation. This makes them vulnerable to being driven out of prime hunting areas by stronger species. Despite these challenges, cheetahs have secured a place in the savanna ecosystem through adaptation. They tend to hunt during hours when larger predators are less active. They select smaller, more manageable prey. Rather than using strength, they rely on speed and precision to complete hunts quickly. In a harsh environment where every mistake can mean death, the cheetah represents one of evolution's most extreme trade-offs. It sacrifices strength, endurance, and defense in exchange for pure speed. Cheetahs are not the strongest, but they are a refined example of how physiology and function can be pushed to the edge. It is a survival strategy that demands near-perfect execution. As the first rains fall, the dry plains turn green within days. New grass, over 3 feet tall, rises and blocks the cheetah's line of sight. For cheetahs, the rainy season brings both opportunity and challenge. There is an abundance of prey, but a sharp decline in visibility, which is critical for each chase. Cheetahs hunt almost entirely by sight. In open terrain, they can spot antelope from long distances, choose the best moment to sprint, and drive prey into open lanes. Tall grass hides all directions. Each movement must be low, slow, and deliberate. A few seconds of hesitation can close the window of opportunity. The cheetah's speed remains intact, but the ability to launch from an optimal position is greatly reduced. Dense grass hides not only prey, but also larger predators. Lions, hyenas, and leopards use the rainy season to stalk the edges of grazing herds. Cheetahs are smaller and not suited for direct confrontation. A single encounter can result in injury or the loss of an entire kill. This exposes a core vulnerability: high speed, but low ability to retain prey. Rain turns the soil to mud. Dry riverbeds become slick trenches. The rainy season becomes a comprehensive test. Maximum speed and low water needs remain essential assets for survival in this uncertain landscape. At the same time, reliance on sight, weak prey defense, and claws poorly suited for mud become major disadvantages. Only individuals that manage energy wisely, avoid conflict, and take full advantage of the birth season can survive the riskiest time of the year. On the dry savanna, where the boundary between life and death is narrow, cheetah cubs are born into harsh conditions. Their bodies are small, their eyes are closed, and they cannot stand. They depend entirely on their mother. From the moment of birth, their survival is challenged by a continuous series of risks. A silver-gray mantle runs from the head down the back. This feature distinguishes cubs from adults. It is not only a biological trait, it may serve as a survival strategy. Cheetah cubs produce a distinct warning sound. Their initial vocalizations are soft but can be heard by the mother from a distance. By the second week, their eyes begin to open. Their awareness of the surrounding space begins to develop. By the fourth week, they begin walking. These first steps happen on uneven ground, through unfamiliar grass cover. Though unsteady, this stage is essential for developing motor skills and learning to control their bodies. The mother does not take the cubs hunting in the early phase. Instead, they learn the environment. They learn how to move quietly, how to choose hiding places, and how to observe without being seen. These skills are not inherited. They are acquired through repeated exposure and real-world practice. Cubs possess the potential for speed, but they cannot use it until their muscles fully develop. During this period, their only strength is the ability to hide and adapt. They use tall grass, bushes, and shallow ground depressions to stay out of sight. The journey from cub to adulthood is filled with risk. Only individuals with quick reflexes, fast learning, and fewer mistakes can survive. High adaptability and caution are the foundation for persistence in an increasingly hostile environment. However, without enough space and vegetation for cover, even these advantages can disappear. By the third month, cheetah cubs no longer remain hidden in dense vegetation. The hunting practice phase begins. The mother brings back live prey, usually a hare or a young Thompson's gazelle, and places it in front of her cubs. The goal is not an immediate meal. It is a natural training session where predatory instincts are refined through real physical engagement. In parallel with hunting, the cub must learn to detect threats. The savanna holds more than antelope. Lions, hyenas, and jackals patrol the same open ground. The mother uses short, hiss-like vocal signals to warn her cubs. When the cub hears the alarm, it must immediately press flat to the ground or dive into nearby vegetation. A delayed reaction by even a few seconds can result in a fatal bite. The period between 6 and 12 months marks a critical transition in the life of a juvenile cheetah. During this time, muscle mass increases, reflexes become sharper, and heart function gradually adapts to prolonged chases. Each day on the grassland becomes a combined session of physical conditioning and technical training, where speed and endurance are tested together. Previously, the cub only observed the mother's high-speed hunts. Now, observation is no longer enough. Participation is required. In short bursts, juvenile cheetahs reach an average speed of about 40 miles per hour. This is a significant achievement, though still below the adult's maximum. Limitations stem from incomplete bone development, suboptimal lung capacity, and underdeveloped thermoregulation. These weaknesses are especially apparent during chases longer than 330 yards. Breathing becomes labored. Stride length shortens. Prey escapes the effective range. Training involves more than speed. Situational judgment, target selection, and breath control are essential components. Cubs must learn when to push and when to withdraw. Choosing a fully grown or healthy prey increases the risk of injury. A deep cut to the leg can render speed meaningless. The grassland does not tolerate poor decision-making. Alongside active training, the cub must remain alert to nearby threats. Hyenas or lions can appear suddenly, drawn by the sounds of struggle. The mother acts as the primary scout. She adjusts pursuit direction quickly to draw the enemy away. This gives the cubs time to drop into the grass. Her key advantages are rapid acceleration and sharp directional control. Her disadvantage is the lack of physical strength in direct confrontation. If a rival predator catches up, her slim frame is vulnerable to injury. By 9 months, juvenile cheetahs have bodies nearly matching adults in limb length and lung capacity. Their top speed is only a few miles per hour below that of the mother. However, technical gaps remain. Their neck grip is not firm enough. The time required to subdue prey is still long, increasing the chance of theft. Training now focuses on bite force, jaw angle, and power distribution during the sprint. By the end of the 12th month, the strongest individuals complete the basic skill set. They choose downwind approach angles. They keep their backs low to reduce drag. They shift body weight smoothly through all 4 limbs. They use tail movement to adjust direction. They end the chase with a bite to the trachea. Their strengths are fast reflexes, high speed, and group coordination. Their remaining weaknesses involve responding to unexpected situations, especially when opportunistic thieves arrive. The African grassland concludes its training with a severe survival filter. Cubs that fall behind are overtaken by stronger group members. The journey from clumsy first steps to precise high-speed pursuit lasts only a few hundred days, but it determines survival for the rest of their lives. After this stage, the cub does not leave the mother because it is already the strongest. It leaves because the grassland demands independence. Only by hunting alone and avoiding predators on its own does it truly cross the threshold to become one of the fastest predators in the savanna. Across the sunlit savanna, male cheetah coalitions operate like tactical units. Each individual knows its position, forming a multi-directional attack line. Through tight coordination, they exploit a weakness in Thompson's gazelles and impalas, the tendency to scatter when pressured from multiple angles. One male takes the role of pursuer. It charges at speeds above 37 miles per hour, forcing the herd to shift formation. When a target falls out of rhythm, a second member attacks from the flank, reducing the distance to under 65 feet before launching a final sprint. The coalition's greatest advantage lies in role distribution. There is always one cheetah available to monitor the surroundings and detect hyenas or lions approaching. Task sharing allows the group to hunt more frequently, while solitary females often need extra days to recover after each chase. However, coalitions also carry a disadvantage: higher overall energy requirements. The group must hunt regularly. Two consecutive failures can quickly lead to exhaustion faster than in solitary individuals. The success window is narrow. A single missed step in the final sprint or a sudden gust of wind masking scent can cause the herd to scatter. At that point, the energy already spent cannot be recovered. A failed hunt becomes a harsh endurance test. Because the coalition must immediately relocate to avoid drawing lions attracted by the noise. Male cheetah coalitions possess three core strengths: coordinated tactics, long-range vision, and explosive acceleration. This combination turns individual speed into collective power. Their main weaknesses are high energy demands and elevated risk of kleptoparasitism. Only coalitions that maintain consistent hunting rhythm and avoid prolonged conflict with apex predators can preserve the stamina required for breeding cycles. Across the dry golden grass, the cheetah's story is not just about record-breaking speed. It is about second-by-second risk calculation. From dividing roles pursuing prey to consuming high-value meat quickly, everything must happen in a short time frame. Completing this sequence does more than deliver a meal. It ensures the coalition's survival within the most competitive ecosystem on Earth. Among large carnivores, the cheetah is one of the few species where the female alone bears the full burden of raising offspring. There is no pride and no support from the male. The mother adjusts every hunting tactic, hides the cubs, and trains them for nearly 2 years, the longest care period in the Felidae family. The foundation of her protective strategy is constant movement. The mother changes hiding locations every 3 to 4 days to prevent milk scent and waste from building up. This movement disrupts scent trails used by hyenas or lions, and it helps the cubs become accustomed to following her through changing grass cover, shifting wind direction, and physical obstacles. She rarely stays in the same spot more than 4 nights, because the cubs' scent can travel far enough to attract predators. The main limitation of solitary parenting is the energy cost. The mother must hunt regularly, staying within range of water but avoiding lion ambush zones. Each hunt must end before her body temperature rises too high, or recovery time lengthens, reducing milk production for the cubs. Repeated hunting failures force the mother to risk entering another cheetah's territory, increasing the chance of conflict. When the rains end, the African savanna enters a period of severe drought. Grasslands shift in color from green to pale yellow. The ground begins to crack. Dust rises with every gust of wind. With no longer abundant water or lush vegetation, the entire ecosystem enters a high-stress state. Daytime temperatures can exceed 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Water evaporates quickly. Streams and shallow water holes disappear, leaving behind muddy, drying pools. Trees shed their leaves to reduce water loss. The air becomes thick and heavy. In these conditions, herbivores such as antelope and zebra must travel dozens of miles each day to find edible land. And predators, including cheetahs, have no choice but to follow. For cheetahs, the dry season presents a challenge to both physiology and survival strategy. This species is known for exceptional acceleration, capable of reaching nearly 60 miles per hour. But the cost of that speed is high energy expenditure. When food is scarce, a failed chase means more than hunger. It results in severe dehydration, increasing the risk of low blood pressure or heat stress. The threat of death comes not from predators, but from the cheetah's own inability to withstand extreme conditions. Finding prey becomes increasingly unpredictable. Antelope herds no longer stay in familiar zones. They move constantly and change routes daily. Cheetahs must adapt continuously. Adjusting hunting behavior and moving constantly to keep pace with shifting prey. Even the act of long-distance travel through open, sun-exposed terrain becomes a serious challenge. In dry conditions, every environmental factor works against the cheetah. What was once an advantage, speed, becomes a liability without careful calculation. The cheetah's body cannot sustain endurance for long. Each sprint requires extended recovery. As a result, though hunting remains necessary, the cheetah must change its approach, targeting smaller, weaker animals, or waiting for clearer opportunities before launching an attack. The cheetah's strength during the dry season lies in behavioral flexibility. From prey selection to timing of engagement, it may choose prey with lower nutritional value, if that means saving energy. However, its weakness remains a high sensitivity to heat. After each sprint, exhaustion builds quickly. If it cannot bring down the prey within 30 to 60 seconds, the cheetah must stop to cool down and abandon the chase. The dry season tests not only physical strength, but also every survival skill learned since youth. Limited resources, oppressive heat, and pressure from rival predators turn every decision into a matter of life and death. In this game, there are no absolute winners. Only those who remain alert and adaptable survive until the rains return. On the African grasslands, each species holds a position in the food web. Cheetahs occupy the mid-level predator tier. Distinct from lions and hyenas due to their superior speed. Despite weighing only around 110 pounds, their acceleration allows them to regulate populations of small antelope. A key factor in maintaining grassland health. Unlike lions that often hunt buffalo or adult zebra, cheetahs target prey within manageable range. Thompson's gazelles, impalas, young calves, or injured animals. This prey selection reflects both their strength and limitation. Speed allows them to close the gap within seconds, but their lean muscle mass limits bite force, preventing penetration through the thick hide of larger prey. As a result, hunting within range becomes optimal, conserving calories, lowering injury risk, and stabilizing antelope herds by removing individuals with declining fitness. An adult cheetah typically consumes around 9 pounds of meat per day, roughly equal to a small antelope. This number may seem modest, but when multiplied across the population, it represents a significant biomass removed from the savanna each day. That reduction helps prevent herbivore overpopulation. During the dry season, when vegetation is scarce, this role becomes more critical. Reducing the number of vulnerable antelope protects grass cover, prevents overgrazing, and preserves root systems. Healthy grass cover triggers a chain of positive effects. Thick root networks retain water longer after brief rains, reduce surface erosion, and shield grass seeds from being washed away. As a result, the green layer recovers faster once the rains return. Insects, hares, seed-eating birds, and migrating elephants all benefit indirectly from the preservation of food and water resources. Cheetah kills are rarely consumed entirely. Roughly half of the carcass is often abandoned, as cheetahs must retreat when hyenas or lions arrive. These remains feed vultures, jackals, dung beetles, and decomposing microbes. Mineral recycling occurs rapidly, returning nitrogen and phosphorus to the soil and promoting thick grass growth around kill sites. In this way, cheetahs contribute to nutrient cycling across arid terrain, even without intention. However, this ecological role comes with built-in disadvantages. Because they rely entirely on short bursts of speed, cheetahs cannot defend their kills when hyenas approach. Direct confrontation is rare. But even 3 hyenas are enough to drive off a cheetah. Losing food forces cheetahs to hunt more frequently, which increases energy loss during dry periods, a time when every sprint raises core temperature to dangerous levels. Male cheetah territories often border lion ranges. These overlapping zones contain sparse grass and dense shrubs, making antelope more alert and reducing cheetah success rates. Failed hunts lead to unrecovered energy, which directly impacts sperm quality and mating frequency, influencing population structure over time. The cheetah's genetic pool has been limited for thousands of years due to prolonged population declines. Today, that gene pool continues to erode, pushing the species toward an evolutionary dead end, even with unmatched speed. Cheetahs cannot outrun habitat loss or genetic fragmentation. Their speed once secured an important ecological niche among predators. Now, it cannot protect them from extinction. They remain the fastest land animal. Yet they are losing the race for survival, not from a lack of instinct, but because human activity has reshaped natural systems too quickly and too deeply, without urgent conservation measures and well-designed habitat restoration. cheetahs will continue to vanish from landscapes they once ruled. Each stride across the savanna today could be among the last for this predator species. On the savanna, a cheetah's sprint maintains the balance between predator and prey. Its acceleration helps eliminate weak antelope, preserving stronger herds and easing pressure on vegetation. But their lightweight build makes it difficult to defend kills against lions or hyenas. This forces frequent hunting and higher energy use. The presence of cheetahs signals intact grasslands and connected migration routes. When grasslands fragment, speed becomes a burden, sprints shorten, inbreeding increases, and inherited disorders emerge. Losing cheetahs means losing a natural filter. Antelope populations surge. Grass is stripped down to the roots. And the soil begins to degrade. Protecting cheetahs does not require advanced technology. It requires connected territories, reduced conflict with livestock, support for breeding programs, and well-planned reintroduction. The decision lies with the communities who benefit from savanna biodiversity. Timely action allows us to preserve this natural symbol of speed. Delay and cheetahs may survive only in archived footage.